You're not losing your intelligence. So why does thinking feel harder? Why does your mind feel slower even when nothing is wrong? Something feels different. You try to focus on a report, but your thoughts drift to your unread emails and social media notifications. You start thinking about a solution to a problem at work, and suddenly you're wondering what to make for dinner, losing the thread halfway. Simple decisions like choosing what to wear or what to eat feel heavier, taking up disproportionate mental energy. You might find yourself staring blankly at a screen, unable to start a task, or forgetting why you walked into a room. This isn't just a bad day, it's a persistent feeling of mental sluggishness. It feels like your brain isn't working the way it used to, like something is off. So the conclusion becomes, I can't think clearly anymore. As Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, said, people do not have ideas, ideas have people. Your problem isn't lack of ability, it's overload. You're constantly consuming videos, posts, messages, information. Think about scrolling through endless TikToks, checking Twitter every 5 minutes, or having a dozen browser tabs open simultaneously. Every notification, every headline, every new piece of content demands a sliver of your attention. There's always something new, always something to process. You might even feel a compulsion to check your phone every few minutes, fearing you'll miss out on something important. Your brain isn't built to handle constant input. So instead of thinking deeply, it starts switching rapidly, from one idea to another, from one app to another, from one task to another. It's like having too many applications open on your computer, slowing everything down, without finishing any of them. And unfinished thinking creates confusion. You're losing depth. You scroll quickly through news articles, consume quick summaries of complex topics, and react instantly to social media posts, but rarely stay long enough to fully process anything. You might watch a 30-second explainer video on a global issue, but never delve into the nuances. You read headlines, but rarely click through to the full article. You engage in quick, superficial conversations online rather than deep, meaningful discussions. This constant skimming prevents your brain from forming robust connections and understanding. So your brain adapts. It becomes good at quick recognition, surface-level understanding. It can identify trends and buzzwords, recognize patterns, and process information at a rapid, albeit shallow, pace. But worse at sustained thinking, deep clarity. It struggles to connect disparate ideas or hold a complex thought for an extended period. The ability to analyze, synthesize, and critically evaluate information diminishes. So thinking starts to feel harder. Your mind never fully clears. Even when you stop working or try to relax, there's still noise. Thoughts about that half-written email, fragments of a podcast you listened to, or unfinished inputs from your social media feed. You might lie in bed, and your mind races through a mental to-do list or replays snippets of conversations. You try to meditate, but your mind is a whirlwind of unrelated thoughts. Even during leisure activities, a part of your brain is still trying to catch up, creating a constant hum of mental activity. Because everything you consume doesn't get processed fully. It stays, partially complete. It's like having dozens of open loops in your mind, each demanding a small amount of energy, and that creates mental fog. Follow Daily Reset Lab if you want to understand what's happening inside your mind. The cost isn't just feeling slow, it's indecision, like agonizing over a restaurant choice for an hour, or struggling to pick a movie on a streaming service, overthinking, replaying conversations endlessly, second-guessing every decision, and imagining worst-case scenarios, and mental fatigue, feeling drained even after a full night's sleep, experiencing brain fog throughout the day, and lacking the energy for creative pursuits. This constant mental churn impacts your relationships, productivity, and overall well-being, because clarity requires space, and your mind doesn't have space anymore. It's full. Every corner is occupied by half-processed information, unresolved thoughts, and digital debris, so thinking becomes effortful. The solution isn't more information. You already have enough input. More won't fix it. Trying to read another self-help book or watch another productivity hack video won't solve the core issue. In fact, it might exacerbate the problem by adding more unprocessed information to your mental load. Because clarity doesn't come from adding more. It comes from allowing your mind to finish what it already started. Imagine consciously focusing on one task until it's done, or letting a thought fully develop before moving to the next. This means closing those mental loops, one by one. So instead of asking, "How do I think better?" shift to, "Can I stay with one thought long enough to complete it?" Because clarity comes from completion, not consumption. You don't feel like you can't think clearly because something is broken. You feel that way because your mind is overloaded. You've trained it to move fast, to switch constantly, to never finish. The system didn't remove your ability to think. It replaced depth with speed. You followed, repeatedly. If you want clarity back, you don't need to think harder. You need to stop leaving your thoughts unfinished. This means consciously choosing to focus, to complete, and to create space. Awareness isn't comfort, it's responsibility. Subscribe to Daily Reset Lab for more perspective like this.